Internet, good morning. My name is Pokemon Trainer Steve, aka Magnitude, here to talk to you guys about Sun and Moon and have a little discussion regarding some of this information that we know that has been leaked thus far. Well, I wouldn't say leaked. The first discussion is going to be about Yungoos, and now I encourage you guys to post your thoughts below. This is a discussion. This is not one man behind a microphone speaking and you guys reacting to what I say. I want you guys to give your thoughts below as well on anything that I'm saying or even stuff I didn't say about this particular topic. And today's topic is going to be Yungoos. We don't know a lot about Yungoos, but we do know that we saw it in the E3 gameplay. So we have a little bit of information to go off of, so we're going to be talking about that a little bit, as well as predicting the base stat total and the competitive nature of its eventual evolution. What we do know is that it appears on Route 1, so we have now the token normal type. Now, we've seen already that it has one evolution, and we don't know what that is. We've seen the new Pokedex has the evolution slots, and you could see those. So, we have seen that it has one evolution, and the other 6 generations have all had normal type Pokemon appear fairly early that also evolved once, with Rattata, Sentret, Zigzagoon, Bidoof, Patrat, and Bunnelby. Now, we also had Lillipup in Gen 5, but that evolves twice, so we're going to throw that thing out and just use Patrat for the sake of discussions going on. So we know that Yungoos will, of course, be the Route 1 token normal type that the trainers are going to use for HMs and never really use competitively. But it has a new ability. It's called Stakeout, and it's the attack stat doubles if the opponent switches. So it's like an interesting little pursuit plus huge power combo. It's going to force players to make decisions based on, damage. It's very niche ability, but I think it has the potential to really put a hurting on people. Especially if this thing learns Retaliate, you bring it in after Mon dies, Retaliate gets doubled, and then you got to decide if you want to take a stab Retaliate or if you want to switch and double that. So it's going to really, I think, make a lot of players face harder decisions than you might think with this thing. Now, historically, we've seen Mons with pure power, such as Medicham, Azumarill, and Diggersby, and their base forms have very little attack. Now, I'm going to be going with Marill, not Azumarill here, when I get into their stats, because Azumarill is a baby-type Pokemon, and those are kind of outliers. So, we have Meta-type with 40 base attack, Marill with 20 base attack, and Bunnelby with 36 base attack. So, while Stakeout on Yungoos isn't exactly huge or pure power, it has that effect when somebody switches. So, it'll make it a very nice Pursuit Trapper, because if it gets Pursuit, hopefully, it's not Stab, but if you force a switch, if it gets Pursuit, you're going to have to essentially decide if you're the opponent, in certain situations, if you want to take a switch out Pursuit on that doubled, or you want to risk them not going for it. So I think it's actually going to be a very interesting ability, and it's going to be more effective, I think, than people think, but less effective than people are hyping it up to be. It's not going to be super game-breaking, the way that huge and pure power is, but it's certainly going to give Yungoos, I think, at least an early look in the metagame. Well, by Yungoos, I mean its evolution, of course. Now, its Dex entry states that it was brought over from another region to deal with a population problem. This raises a couple of questions, actually. But we'll get to those in a minute. So there's a real-life event where Hawaii, the region that this new region was based off of, was brought over mongoose to deal with rats and sugar canes. So they brought in outside mongooses. I'm going to use both of them. That way I'm both right and wrong in different times of the video. It has, they brought over mongoose. I don't know why I just said it has. That was like a weird, I need to fill space with sound, so I went with it has. That has nothing to do at all with what I'm about to say. I just feel like pointing that out. So, Hawaii brought over mongoose to deal with rats and sugarcane fields because rats were destroying those things. So in real life, the mongooses didn't help at all with that, actually. Since they had different sleep cycles, the rats were nocturnal and the mongooses were not, or vice versa. I don't know the biology behind rats and mongoose sleep cycles, but one of them was nocturnal, one of them was not. I'm sure somebody with more knowledge. I'm not going to pretend to know that I know that, but sure someone with more knowledge, or somebody who looked it up more extensively than I, will know in the comments. All it did was greatly diminish the population of ground nesting birds. So I think that's why we saw Pikapeck in the area. Now, you know, Pikapeck, who knows if they're woodpeckers. I don't know the nesting habits of woodpeckers, but it's just interesting that we see both of the birds. You know, I thought it was the Pidgey, but the Yungoos, the mongoose, all it did in Hawaii was get rid of the population of ground nesting birds, and their own population, the mongoose population's out of control there, from what I heard. So they brought in this invasive species to deal with rats and sugarcane fields. It didn't do that. Mongoose population's out of control, and there are less ground nesting birds. So who knows if we'll see that at all in this game? Who knows if there'll just be a shitload of Yungoos and not a lot of Pikapeck? I don't know. So that raises a couple questions. One, it hints that there's another region, because if Yungoos was brought over from a region, and we've never seen Yungoos before, where did it come from? Did it come from an 8th region that we're going to be finding out in 6 years, or how's that going to work? We don't really know. So they're not native to the gen. It's possible that they were, you know, supposed to be brought over, because now we've seen Lil Pup and Patrat are both 2 normal type tokens in 5th gen. You know, perhaps Yungoos and Zigzagoon once lived alongside in Hoenn or Sinnoh, you know, alongside, you know, Bidoof or Zigzagoon, and now they just send legit all of them over to deal with the problem. It could another theory that we have is that the Rattata were the native Pokemon, and we've seen Ladybug in the region in Route 1 of the gameplay. So we've seen other region Pokemon. Now Ladybug can fly, so it's a little bit different. You know, theories that Rattata was one of the Pokemon that was it was there to hunt, and then the Rattata could spread to the 1st gen. Who knows the proximity that Kanto is to this new region, but that's one theory. Or best case, we get a new type of rat type Pokemon, because that'd be kind of cool to get one of those. Who knows? Maybe we'll get like a Pikachu clone, an electric type rat that Yungoos is brought in to deal with. I don't know, but that's a theory. So, possible new gen because Yungoos had to come from somewhere, and possible new rat type Pokemon because that's, you know, that's what this is mirroring in outside life. So, who knows about that? That'd be kind of cool as well. Let's get into the base stat prediction total of this video. On the screen now, you have all the base stat totals of all of the token normal type Pokemon, as well as the base attacks of all Pokemon with pure or huge power. Bunnelby being one of those, so we gotta he's the middle of this Venn diagram. So we gotta kind of put the base stat total around 250, maybe on the little lower side because of what his ability can do, but I'm hoping for some speed. So what I have predicted for Yungoos is 40 HP. We've seen 35 be the lowest, 38, 38, 30. So 40, it's kind of right in the middle there. We have 40 attack as well. I anticipate it to be a little higher than Bunnelby because it gets that ability where it's got to double its attack. But it's not as high as something like a Sentret or Rattata or Bidoof or Patrat, something like that. 36 defense, just put that kind of on the lower end. I feel like this thing is meant to be more of a, it's brought in to deal with the population, so its offensive capabilities are enhanced, and it's not really going to defend itself all that well. Special attack, kind of an arbitrary number. I just put it at 25. It's the lowest with Rattata. I have no idea what it anticipates on happening. This stat is just out of nowhere. It was this number. I just gave it because really we don't know. We don't know. Its base attack total is going to be around 250, I would assume. So we just got to, put those numbers in there. Same thing with special defense. I just put it with 39. It's, lower than Zigzagoon and Sentret, even with Patrat, lower than Bidoof as well, just higher than Bunnelby. So its speed stat, though, is 67. I expect for Stakeout to work, its speed stat has got to be its highest, because obviously it's going to get that attack boost from the ability of things switch out, so it's going to have to move quickly, I think, and the fact that it was brought in to hunt rats, it's probably pretty fast in its own right. So and that's base stat total of 247. So 247 with this spread out here. We'll see how right I am. We'll see how close I am. I'll probably revisit these numbers when the games come out and we have more time to actually look at the base stats, stuff like that. We have no idea about any of these, but this is what I assume is going to be. I said its highest stat being its speed, its attack on the lower end because it's going to get that boost, and kind of just averaging the stats out with the rest of them. So let me know what you guys think below about Yungoos and its ability and all its great stuff. And yeah, comment below if you guys want to see another one of these discussions. If so, I'd like to make this a weekly series where I talk about stuff and I throw in some super cool graphics. So let me know what you guys think. Rate, comments. I've always seen you guys. All you guys. Not you guys. All you guys. Oh, you guys. I'm just making it bad. Competitive bad. Bye, guys. I'll see you.